Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Charles Dixon. I'm going to tell you a story. The 4 times that I came close to death. The first time was when I was 17 years old. I just got here to Los Angeles, right? I arrived at LAX. I went to the tourist message box and I saw a hotel that's called Backpackers Paradise, where you have a bunch of backpackers, right? So now I took their number down, called them, and they were located in the city of Inglewood. This was in the year 2000, right? So now I got to Backpackers Paradise. I checked into the hotel, right? Okay, they had a swimming pool in the hotel. It was like a resort, okay? And I'm not really a good swimmer, right? Never been, even though I can stay underwater for a long time, without air. But swimming is not really my thing, right? So now we're in the resort on the pool side. A bunch of people were swimming, socializing, drinking, having fun, and I made some friends while I was out there, a bunch of other tourists, some from Germany, some from France, some from Sweden. So now they're swimming up and down in the pool from one end to another end, At first, I was at the shallow section, right? Just getting comfortable, getting used to the water. Slowly, I kept on going further and further, right? To the point that I got like way deep, way past the middle part of the pool into the deep section, right? And now I was in the pool, now I was on the water, right? Struggling for my life, right? Trying to make noise, come up so that people can see me that that I was having some issues. And then a young white guy from somewhere in Europe, I can't remember where he was from, he just swam to me and he just held me and swam into a safe side of the pool. And then I thanked him. I was like, oh my God, I was drowning. I read because I started to take water into my body and stuff like that. He told me, say, oh, we thought that you was playing at first, but eventually we got to realize that you was not playing. Well, that was then. That was how that guy saved my life. Okay, that was that one. That was the first encounter that I had. The first close encounter that I had with death, right? The second time when I was 18 years old, right? And this was in London, right? They had some guys in the neighborhood, not really good guys, right? They're really bad guys. And me, myself, I've never been the one to back down. I've always been strong spirited, no fear, fight a bunch of guys, a bunch of them jumped me a couple of times. They couldn't do anything to me, right? Or whatever like that, I end up, kicking their ass. So one day I was walking on the street, right? Just minding my own business, right? And I see one of my enemies who was on the phone. It was like, keep in mind that this boy that I'm telling you about, he was a really bad boy, right? In London. His name was Henry. Okay. Henry was a real gangster, right? Henry's known for stabbing people in the neck, for doing a bunch of crazy stuff, right? Henry was a badass motherfucker, you know what I mean? So now I was walking down the street, right? I was just mind, and then my intuition just tells me, turn around and look behind you. I saw someone for quite a distance away from me on the phone, and I noticed him that it was Henry. And immediately as I noticed that it was him that was trailing me from the back, right? we decided to engage each other, right? Then some altercation took place. He had a bottle, an energy bottle drink in his hands. In London, it's called Lucozade. I don't think they have it over in America. It's not, it's more of a Europe and an African energy drink. So now he had a Lucozade on his hands. He takes the Lucozade, throws the Lucozade bottle at me. I duck. The Lucozade bottle drops on the floor. The Lucozade bottle shattered. It was alright, but it was still being held. Even though the bottle shattered, right, it was still being held by the wrap, the energy branded wrap that they have around it, to like plastic thick wrap. They hold it together, and I took the bottle, right, and I threw the bottle back at him, right, and it struck him on his head, right, and he started to bleed, right, and then I took off, ran into the park, which was close to the high school that we both attended, me and him, Henry himself. All of us attended this high school. It's called Rokeby, and London Borough of Newham. So, yeah, so we all went to the same school together. And yeah, so I took the Lucozade bottle, I threw the Lucozade bottle back at him, striking him in the head somewhere. He starts to bleed, right? And then I take off running into the park that was close to the secondary school that we all attended, right? And I know the park really well. Now I go and I hide under the bushes, right? Beside the bushes, right? The reason why I was hiding there was I want things to die down, because I know while he was on the phone, he's calling for a bunch of other guys to come and kill me, right? It's not a bad, this is how serious this thing was, right? And this whole beef we had was actually because over a girl called Tina, a sexy ass girl called Tina, right? I can't believe I nearly died for Tina. So Tina was dating one of the guys in the group, and me and Tina was friends. And Tina decides to tell them that I'm the new boyfriend right now, and this is the reason why she can't hang around with them no more, or whatever, And they didn't take that too well, because Tina was really beautiful. When I'm telling you, a lot of guys was killing for Tina, right? That's how beautiful Tina was, right? Yeah? Tina was a work of art. I mean, she had a nice Coca-Cola bottle shape, right? She had a nice V shape, man. Nice hips, big titties, and it's very slim. And she looked real healthy and strong. And yeah, she was at her prime and she was looking the best back then, right? So, and a lot of guys was ready to fight for that pussy. And a lot of guys were ready to die for that pussy and kill for that pussy. That's how good that pussy was. Yeah, that was one pussy to die for and kill for, right? That's what I was thinking back then. So yeah, now I'm in the park, hiding, waiting for things to die down so that I can make my exit, because I was using my head. I knew that a bunch of guys, he was on the phone, a bunch of guys was gonna come for me or whatever like that. And then out of nowhere, right, I saw one tall, light-skinned dude, right, wearing a long trench coat, right? Right, he was wearing a long trench coat. And this guy from a distance, when I was hiding in the park beside the bushes, right, there was a iron fence, like that barricade the park. Now he was in front of the iron fence. He seen me from probably like 6 feet away, and the iron fence. And he asked me, "Did you just have a fight with Henry?" And I said, "Yeah, I had a fight with Henry." And he just reached out in his trench coat. He brought out a long gun that looked like a rifle. Pow! This dude shot at me. I was 18 years old, right? The dude shot at me like pow. Wow. And then, luckily enough for me, right, I was wearing a Guess jeans, right, and the bullet went through my Guess jeans that I was wearing and grazed the back of my knees, right. It didn't actually penetrate deep into my body, right. It just grazed the back of my. Bless up, brother. It just penetrated the back of my knees, right. So, yeah, and then the people around called the police. The police came, British police. They took me in a van, driving me around the neighborhood, trying to tell me if I can find the guy that shot me or whatever. I didn't tell them anything, right? So now they drove me all around because I believe, back in those days, yeah, the street code, you know what I mean, in London. So keep in mind, right, this time in London, right, gun wasn't too popular. A lot of people wasn't using guns like that. Only, every now, but it wasn't like rampant, like people having guns, A lot of people at that time, our weapon of choice was knife. Carrying a knife with you was an equivalent in London at that time, like you having a gun. And if you get caught with a knife, right, you can get up to the same sentence you getting catch with a gun. I actually caught at 18 as well because of this beef that I had with these guys, right? I actually end up catching a knife case in London. My first ever case that I had was a knife case in London, which I ended up getting a community service that I worked at a thrift store at in probation, right? And the reason why I was carrying the knives all the time like that was because of this beef that I had with these guys. Because these guys, they were carrying knives and also guns, and they wouldn't hesitate to use it. And because that was just the mode we was at that time, you know what I mean? It was like a power struggle. Everybody had ego. Everybody didn't want to back down from no one. You know what I mean? Bless up, brother. Good to see you, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. Thank you. Oh, bless up. Everybody everybody, had big ego. Like none of us, want to bow down, was ready to put our life on the line for it, it was around like from 16 to when they started from 16 to 18, and then they had some of the boys that I was beefing with, their older brothers as well, eventually got involved and all that, right? So now that was that. They shot me and nothing happened. Just the bullet just grazed the back of my leg, on my knees, and the police end up contacting my parents, letting them know, what is going on with me, that I got shot. It was a big deal because in London a lot of people wasn't really getting, using guns like that or shooting like that. It's because why? They decided they want to shoot me because they couldn't beat me physically, or stuff like that. So, and they really wanted to, take care of me. So, that was that scenario. Long story short, between me and those boys, and I made, a few encounters, a few other encounters with their brothers and stuff, their older brothers. I remember in the club, one of them, William, his brother, what's this guy's name again? His brother's name. Oh yeah, so it was at a club out in West End in London. There was a bunch. I was there in London. I had a few guys with me as well at that time in London. That was my friends. I think it was like 10 of us, right? Just hanging out, a bunch of teenagers from late teens to 20s, right? So me and a bunch of all my crews were hanging out in London, right, at a club called Capital Club, which was a hip hop club, where all the London bad boys, road boys, all the London gangsters, come to party and have fun, right? Look, if you have an enemy and you really don't want no smoke, really don't want to meet them, that is not the place to be, right? Because most likely you're going to run into your enemy or somebody who knows your enemy or some type of affiliate of your enemy. So now, yeah, I was at the club trying to get in. The bouncer, we showed him my ID. Out of nowhere, I saw a group of guys, like 6 guys. This was one of the guys that me and him was having problem with. His older brother, right? His older brother came up to me and he's like, blah blah blah. Yeah, that fight's not playing. He called up, like a shot caller in the area, knew him that we know. A name that is supposed to intimidate me. But this guy actually shows me love and respect, right? So he calls out that name. He tells me, oh, he's not playing. He's not this and not that. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. What the fuck? Who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck about nobody. I don't fear nobody. Anybody that wants it, they can get it, right? Now this was I was wild like that, in London. So, and then the other, my friend beside me, my close friend Jake at that time was like, Jake at your boy Ghanaian guy. He was like, yeah, fuck Dafa. You know what I mean? Jake just went straight to the diss. So fuck Dafa. Who gives a fuck about Dafa, right? Hey, keep in mind that Dafa is like he's like all their boss, right? Or something like that. That's how powerful Dafa is, like. So now Jake was like, fuck Dafa. Who don't give a fuck about Dafa, right? And then me myself, you know what I mean? I went into my Tupac mode. I'm like, you guys shot me, but I'm still here. And really I felt invincible, right? I was like, what? And then the bouncer was trying to intervene. Bless up, brother. Long story short, what ended up the bouncer, those boys that end up leaving, they didn't really want to do anything because I was with a lot of people too, and the guys who I was with too, they were real solid, hardcore guys too, right? So now we went into the club, we partied, we all had fun. That group, they were trying to come into the club, but they didn't come into the club because it would have been a big problem because we was there first, so the bouncer allowed our group. So now we go in there, we party. Keep in mind while we're partying, right? We was expecting that when we got out the club, that it was gonna be some serious fighting. So we're just having fun and stuff, partying, and then as soon as the club came out, man, once we got out of the club, I was expecting maybe around the corner or somewhere for those boys to try to engage with us or whatever like that. But long story short, they didn't do anything. So a few days later, I saw the guy Henry, right? Then I came to America, right? I came to America, and then did I come to America? No, that was a different story. Anyway, a few days later, I saw Henry, right? And Henry was like, okay, bro, what's the point? You kill me, or I kill you, or we kill each other. Does it make any difference? Oh, sorry, it doesn't make we should just make peace, or whatever, something of that nature, right? So now, and that was how the truce was done in that. And after that, we all became cool. Now, that was the second time that I nearly got killed, right? Actually, I just remember this 5 times. Not 4, 5 times, close times that I came to death. And then the third time, the third time was, I was in Los Angeles, right? Downtown, the area that is infested with drug dealers, gangbangers, but it's a mixture of people in that area because you have businesses or commercial businesses, right? So basically, I was there to buy bikes that I'm going to resell, which was one of my hustle at that time, right? This was during the coronavirus time. This was like in 2020, right? During the lockdown, I found out that a lot of people, bike was in demand, and I was making some serious cash doing it, right? So now I was in the area, right, wearing a big Rolex gold chain, wearing some, it was Michael Kors, gold watch, right, looking really fly, with expensive Gucci shoes on, right? With nice True Religion jeans and stuff like that. So I was looking like money, right? And then I had the Tom Ford sunglasses on. And then, yeah, I bought this bike, which was a trek bike. It was a high-end trek bike. Now I've started to take picture of the bike so that I can post it online. While I was taking picture of the bike, I see a couple of guys across the street, like 3 to 4 black guys, right? One of them was a short, stocky, really black-looking, gorilla-looking guy, right? Real swell, bald-headed, right? Now, he says to me, "Where did you get that bike from? This is my bike." I knew from the get-go that they were trying to rob me, right? So I didn't even bother answering him any questions. So I saw him approach me, and then I pulled out the knife that I had, because it was like 3 of them, right? Thinking that the knife was going to stop these guys from fucking trying to rob me or whatever. There were like 3 or 4 of them. But this shit didn't stop this boy. This boy ran into me, right? And during the process of him running into me, right, I stabbed him in the back of his head with the gold knife that I had. In the back of his head, right? There's blood everywhere, right? Now me and him were getting down on the ground. His friends over there, they were punching me, they were kicking me, and then his friend as well. But during all this commotion, I made sure that I held on very tight to the knife, because I know that if that knife left my hands, that knife will be used against me, and it won't be nice, right? So it was hitting me, dude, intentionally trying to knock me out, right? They couldn't knock me out. I'm pretty very strong, right? I can give it and I can take it. So now the dude, they grabbed my Rolex chain, trying to strangle me, with the chain. This chain was so strong, which wasn't a good thing, because that could have killed me, right? The chain didn't even break. And I see the chain, my neck I was being strangled by one of the other guys behind, right? One of the guys who were trying to rob me, he was holding the chain while me and the other guy was fighting, holding the chain, trying to squeeze the life out of me with the chain, right? But I tucked my neck in, right? I tucked my neck in. I didn't let it go. Then they were trying to grab the knife off my hand. The other one was holding up the knife off my hand. The knife had blood on it, so it was kind of slippery, right? But I still held on very tight to the knife, right? So now I didn't let the knife go, right? The guys gave me a bunch of blows on my head, everywhere, kicks, you name it, everything that they can do to make me pass out or whatever like that. But I didn't pass out, right? So now while I stabbed him in the back, he had a backpack, right? That looked like the backpack had a lot of metal stuff in there. I don't know what he had, but he used the backpack as a weapon, because I had a knife. I told him back off. So he used the backpack to hit me, and I used my left hands to hold on to try to shield my head and the backpack or whatever, and the content of it. This my left hand was shattered. It was broken, like but I was still fighting. I didn't notice it, right? Because of the endurance, right? And then once I get up, me and him was tussling. Eventually, the other friends, they went away. They ran away. They left, because it was going on for quite some time. And then it was just me and him who got up. And then I was like, man, I already stabbed him in the back of his head with he was bloody. This dude was still fighting. He must have been on drugs or something like that. And my hand was already broken or whatever like that, right? I was like, take the bike, man. Wouldn't it be easier if I had just given the bike, right, without all that stuff? No, but nobody's just gonna come rob us, right? So now he went away. A few days later, I saw him. We was all cool, and then we didn't have any more problem with that. So that was the second time, right? And then the third time, was I was coming back from work, right? I was on an electric motorcycle, electric bike. This was the time that I was buying and reselling bikes, right? This was the bike that I was going to resell, right? It was one of those. It's called what? It's Powerful Evo. It's a powerful electric bike that at first and it looked like motorcycle. So I was riding it. I had no helmet on, right? I was coming back from my job, and then I went through a shopping complex, a normal route that I normally take through the shopping plaza. As soon as I exit in the shopping plaza, some guy, so I think they said he was 18 years old, was a Mexican guy, and he didn't have no fucking license or whatever. Like, and this guy hits me, right? That hit was bad. Okay, because I had to have 3 surgeries from that accident. I nearly died in that accident. I wasn't wearing no helmet. I had a bunch of scars all over my head. If you see my head, I might pick my head, on the back of my head, and everything out. All man, they had to take out glasses. My head was my helmet, man. They had to take out all like glasses off my head and stuff like that. I had big, deep cuts all throughout my head and face. I look totally different. I'm going to post the picture so you see how bad I looked after that accident. That's why I still got a little bit of scar right here and my nose over here. It was due to the accident. It was pretty serious, man. I had to have 3 surgeries. Also, let me show you. I had to have what is okay. I had to have a shoulder surgery, right here. Okay, several bones was broken over there and it had to be fixed. And also on my arm over here, I had a lot of skin peeled out from here, so they had to do a skin graft. They had to take out a skin from my thigh, a layer skin from my thigh, to put over here. And this surgery was done by a Jewish surgeon at Sinai Sino in Beverly Hills, right? So now he used a skin graft. They used the skin from my thigh, and then they used it to put a layer over my skin because a lot of flesh was torn from here, right? That was a bad accident, and this was just like probably like 3 months after those guys was trying to attack me, right? And after those guys was trying to rob me, and I fucked them. And then and then the skin graft they had over here is like, they cut out. So I have a little bit of a scar right here. I'll show you another time. Because they cut out some skin from here and put it over here, right? And also I had to have knee surgery too on my left knee right here. But I show it to you. On my left knee right here, right? I had to have a surgery. So this was how bad this accident was, right? It was a pretty serious accident. Yeah, and I stayed 30 days in Sino Medical Center, which was state-of-the-art hospital, right? A lot of celebrities go there. I thank God that was where I was taken to, because they have the best doctors, and it was a really good experience over there. So I had 3 surgeries there, stayed 30 days at the hospital, and then thank God I'm still going through the recovery process. This wasn't too long ago, right? And then the 4th time, right, was actually today. Maybe this might be the 4th time or the 5th time, but I know it's up to 4 to 5 times that I nearly came close to death. Well, today's one was crazy, man. I'll tell you this. Today's one was between me and a mad Jamaican guy. Now, this guy that I'm telling you about is very angry with his life. He's frustrated. He is pissed off. He's jealous of me. And yeah, he sells weed, right? He lives in his van in public parking lot, right? So yeah. So today he decides to, this morning, to chase me with two big bottles, right? You know, like let's say like Hennessy bottles or whatever like that, right? And early in the morning, man, I tell you this. We're talking about like 7:30 to 8 o'clock. I was trying to go handle my business, trying to go for my morning run, right? And now he chases me with a bottle. You know, we had a few exchange of words. I told him, I said, put the bottle down, let's fight face to face. He says, no, Mama, put the bottle, your bumble clot, your pussy hole. You, fuck, man. Man. And then I said, put the bottle down, let's fight. No. You know what I mean? I didn't really want to take it too extreme, right? He says, no. He says, go and bring your machine. That's what he's telling me to go bring my gun, go bring my knife. I should go bring my machine, right? So now he decides to chase me with two bottles, right? Now I started to run. And then there was moving traffic ahead, right? And then because I didn't want him to be in range where those bottles can actually, where he can have a good target to hit me, right? So I was trying to keep a good distance, and I can outrun him though. But at the same time, I don't want him to be in enough space where he's able to strike me precisely by throwing a bottle. So now I didn't know why I did this, right? I should have run through the sidewalk or whatever. But during the panic of that time, I just ran trying to cross through the street where they had cars going like this. One is going this way, another car is going this way. Now I try to run across, and then in the process of me trying to run across, a Mexican guy with a truck that looked like LA government work truck, right? Big truck, and he looked like he was carrying a bunch of load. Now, this was the most stupidest decision I made. I should have run through the sidewalk side. I don't know why I decided to run across the street while they were moving traffic. I don't know what I was thinking. During the commotion, I didn't use my head, but I have to hold myself accountable because that could have cost my life, right? So now they have passing cars going this way, another one is going that way. Now I try to run across the street, right? During that process, this guy in a big white, like walking truck, commercial truck, that looked like he was carrying a bunch of loads behind him as well. Now this guy hits me on the side, on my left side like this, because I was, ouch, because I was running like this, right? I was running trying to go across where they have cars going like this. Now this guy, while he was coming like this, now he hits me on this side of my body, right? On this side, all over. Keep in mind, you know what I mean, I had a surgery and, you know, I'm still healing and stuff. So now he hits me on this side, like, bam, this was to be like all throughout this side of my body, my hips. It was like, bang, my arm over here is really bruised. My arm over here, I feel a lot of pain on my forearm over here. Now, I also broke my phone screen. You know, my Samsung Galaxy phone screen this morning because of this incident that I had, right? So now I think, I don't know, I think at some point when the thing hit me, I went down to the ground. I said, oh my God, am I getting hit again? Like, what the hell is going on, man? I was really thinking maybe a bunch of other cars might hit me, you know. In my head, the worst was going on. I'm like, no, I really don't want to do this again, man. Going through the process, going through the hospital and stuff like that. God must be with me. There's a strong will for me to live, and I believe He has a purpose for my life, right? So now, yeah, He hits me on the side, out to the ground, and the guy that hit me, the Mexican guy that hit me, he moved a little bit, and then he pulled over there, waiting to make sure that I am okay or whatever. So now I get up on my own, right, like a soldier. I get up and now I walk to him. I said, yeah. I said, this guy was chasing me with two bottles and weapons and stuff like that. He said, yeah, I saw it, right? He says, oh, I just want to make sure you're okay. I said, yeah. I said, I'm okay. I said, do I look okay? And he said, yeah. He said, you're okay. And then that was it. And then I said bye to him. He said bye to me. But keep in mind while this was happening, right? Because there was a McDonald's across. Another Mexican lady across in a white small compact car was screaming. He was screaming. Oh, she was screaming across. Oh, you jaywalked. You jaywalked. I said, yeah. I'm not, I wasn't arguing that I wasn't the one in the right. Sir, I wasn't arguing that I was the one in the right, right? Yes, I said, yes, I jaywalked. This was because this guy was chasing me with a weapon and I run into oncoming traffic. I was running into oncoming traffic thinking I can navigate my way through. I take crazy chances, man. Thinking I can navigate my way towards oncoming cars that are moving at high speed. I don't know what I was thinking. But I have to hold myself accountable because that could have cost my life, right? So, yeah, the lady across over there was a Latino lady. She screamed across over there at McDonald's. She was like, oh, you jaywalked. It was if I said, yeah, this guy was chasing me, blah, blah, blah. This is the reason why I moved. And then the guy who was driving a commercial truck that hit me, he told us, says, okay, calm down. And then that was it. And then the guy went away. He didn't do anything to me. I could have taken his number if I was going to call the police for this Jamaican dude and all that stuff like that, right? But then again, I get off my phone, my Samsung Galaxy phone screen is shattered. But I thank God because I have all the phones. Yeah, never give your haters an opportunity to harm you. It's best to stay away from these people who are demonic, angels of the devil. These people who have given up on their life and they're very hateful and they want to destroy anything that they think is good. So you don't want to be around those type of people. You don't want anything to do with those type of people. Yeah, a lot of crazy things was coming to my head. I'm like, no. You have to avoid trouble at all costs. There's nothing fun about fucking spending years in prison or the rest of your life in prison, right? So you have to be careful what you do. So that's what I say to myself. My freedom is my main priority for me to protect so that I can do all the great things that God wants me to do. And the only way that I can do this is by staying out of trouble. And yeah, so yeah, that was this encounter today, this morning. I could have easily have killed myself by me running into the car because this guy was chasing me. And thank God nothing happened. And yeah, my phone screen was messed up. It was a bit upsetting, but I got over it. I slept for a little while, slept for 2-3 hours, and then now I'm back up like nothing happened. But I'm not gonna lie to you though. The first few hours, it was like a post-stress trauma disorder I thought I experienced, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, see how life is fragile. You have to be careful. This is how easily I could have got myself killed. Now, yeah, those are the times that I came close to death that I can remember right now to tell you guys. I hope you like the video. I'm also going to post more video about the accident that I had when I was hit by the car riding the motorcycle, the electric bike ride. I'm going to post more pictures about that for you guys to see as well. Thank you so much, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have ever had any close encounter with death. I would like to hear what you have to say. I'd like to hear your experiences, okay? Any of you guys that have ever came close to death, please let me know the story. Thanks guys. Take care. Until next time. Bye bye.